what about the university setting is unique and different today in branding? What are we teaching young people in this space?
Yeah, there's what's evergreen and has always been the same, and then there's what's changes year to year. There are aspects of a brand strategy that I feel have not changed, which is, understanding your target audience and what they care about. The idea of the importance of focus. There's a lot of things you could say about your company or product or brand, but we've got to pick one to really focus on, and that's your brand positioning. So some of these things are timeless. Starting with target audience and being focused does not change. However, the tools that we use, the channels that people use in order to communicate, those change all the time. I'm right now, I have to reboot my copywriting class because AI exists. And, chat changed a lot of things when it comes to copywriting, not just in the classroom, but in the industry. I want for my future copywriters, I want them to have a job waiting for them that they can earn as opposed to, they've just lost their job to an algorithm. So that kind of stuff changes. I can't pretend that, all the same rules still apply for syntax and yada, yada. It doesn't. So it is a matter of kind of separating out what's timeless and what is always changing. Advertising, responds to things like pop culture and technology. Those things change all the time. It even responds to economics, which is a constant cycle.
Okay, so you said it, so I'm going there. You said copywriters should have a job. Okay. Convince me that a human copywriter should be paid whatever they're paid per hour or on an annual basis, and somehow we shouldn't use ChatGPT or the emergence of other, generative AI. Convince me that that should even exist, because right now I'm not convinced.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's the way you phrase it, I think might be a false choice. I wouldn't say don't use chat. I use chat. I'm going to instruct my students on how to use it. I feel like having been a copywriter for most of my career, I feel like I've been a carpenter my whole life and someone just invented power tools. It's very exciting. In the wrong hands, though, it is worthless or even really dangerous. And I'm talking now about copywriters. I'm not talking about the overthrow of society or anything like that. That's a whole other topic. But for somebody to think that they could open up chat, ask a question, get a response, and just dump it in and be done, that's not going to be effective. People that try that professionally are just multiplying the noise that's out there, wasting their clients' dollars, and it's not going to really help them. But somebody who knows a good prompt to get a good, content, and then can do follow-ups, and then at some point takes it themselves and works with it to try to get it there, that I think as of now still requires an expert human touch. And that's what I instruct my students on, especially the ones who want to use, chat to just do their homework and move on with their lives. I tell them, listen, if AI can do your homework, then AI can do your job in the future. And you've got to ask yourself, we all do, what do we bring to the table? And so I do think there's a place for copywriters, but I'm not going to lie and act like all those jobs are safe and will stay the same. I think entry-level copywriting jobs in particular are the most at risk because I think that senior copywriters and creative directors can now use chat and things like that, where otherwise they might have turned to a little pool of, junior copywriters and interns and say, hey, give me 50 headlines by lunch.
Yeah, now we can get 50 headlines in, what, 3 seconds?
That's right. That'll actually be
Uh,
my first assignment for the students. It used to
yeah,
always be, give me 50 headlines. My first boss would tell me, give me 50 headlines by lunch. And now that prompt has to change for the first time in 20 years.
yeah, it's really wild how much it is changing the writing community. And I think you're right on that the prompts have to be accurate and you have to understand how to use the tool. And your example of, hey, I'm a carpenter and I just got power tools, it's changed my life, I think is a perfect analogy for this space.
Yeah, and you want to see a child with a power tool? Does that instill you with a lot of confidence? So we got to make sure that people know how to use this stuff.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And look, I think personally, I think it's been very helpful. I think it speeds up your ability to communicate more effectively, and it can help you sort of reword things that perhaps you're stuck on, right? You're
Mhm.
stuck. You're feeling like there's a blank page staring at you. You can at least put some ideas down from chat that will help you ideate a little bit more on your own and then be able to develop the content that needs to be developed.